the philosophy of the one and only Gil Scott-Heron. The revolution will not be televised, but I want to focus on another philosophical giant, a guy who taught at Howard University, attended Lincoln University out of Jackson, Tennessee. But we want to go over a lyric, one of my favorites. We almost lost Detroit. It stands out on the highway like a creature from another time. It inspires the baby's questions. What's that? For their mothers as they rhyme. He's talking about the Fermi 2 nuclear power plant in Monroe, Michigan. But no one stopped to think about the babies or how they would survive. We almost lost Detroit. This time, how will we get over losing our minds? I can't play the song for copyright reasons, but I would implore you to go look at that song and listen to it. Just 30 miles from Detroit stands a giant power station, which is called Fermi 2. It ticks each night as the city sleeps. Second from annihilation, another Chernobyl, another 3 Mile Island, almost happened in the early 70s in Detroit. But no one stopped to think about the people or how they would survive. We've almost lost Detroit this time. How will we ever get over losing our minds? The sheriff of Monroe County, that is where the Fermi 2 at, sure had enough disasters on his mind. And then he would think, what would Karen Silkwood say if she was still alive? Karen Silkwood was, if you saw the movie Pelican Brief with Denzel Washington, she exposed some plutonium somewhere in Kansas or Oklahoma, and the company killed her. We almost lost Detroit. Then he said, they didn't decide that damn totally destroyed. Didn't all over the world, didn't they say you know? Didn't they say you know we almost lost Detroit? Pretty soon we will wake up one morning. I'm saying clear as a day. I'm sitting here giving you a warning. Gil Scott-Heron, in my opinion, he had another song called The Gun. Everybody has a pistol. Everybody has a 45. It seems the philosophy seemed to be, as soon as you give up yours, I give up mine. Then he says, a violent civilization. Civilization is what I am. He talked about another one, the bottle. I'm just going to talk about Gil Scott-Heron and what, coming from a broken home, raised by his grandmother, winter in America, frozen dreams. That is another song. The revolution will not be televised. Broken homes, we are new beginnings. And then he had another song, man, this is a jazz inspired. This is jazz. Is that jazz? That is a great, great song. And I'm going to not sing, but just recite some of the lyrical from the great Gil Scott-Heron. I'm not rushing on this one because he means so much. When I think about the awakening, you got to be willing. We have all had so many conflicting words of our life, whether wrong or right. How you gonna keep working hard, and it ain't no easy job to survive. Just give it a time. We all come to think of ourselves as links in a chain with so much to gain. Then he said, waiting on the line, ain't nothing but market time, won't get nowhere. Just standing there. What my life really means is that the songs that I sing are just pieces of a dream that I've been building. Then he said, that we can take a stand. Hey, I'm reaching out my hand because I know damn well we can if we are willing. And then he's talking about angel dust. That was a commercial success. How the government put the angel dust in certain neighborhoods and just stretched people all the way out. Save the children. One day they will save us. And one of my favorite Gil Scott-Heron songs is in the lyric. You have to look this up. I'm going to just put emphasis. The fools will have to look out for themselves. God will continue to look out for the children, but the fools will have to look out for themselves. And I know we all deal with struggles, whether it's gambling, whether it's womanizing, whether it's alcohol, whether it's shopping, whatever the case. Oh, we talking about shopping. I have so many of them. This is a great one. It's called Madison Avenue. That's all that's asked of you. Spend your check is on the first of every month. Madison Avenue. That is an avenue where all the advertisers are at in New York City, where they skiing like pop, pop, fizz, whatever, or relief it is, or this buzz for you, or whenever you hear a jingle, that's where the psychological damage comes from making you spend your money. There's so many lyrics, I can't go into that, but please listen to that song by Gil Scott-Heron, Madison Avenue, Gizmos and Gedgels, 1,000 products you don't need. I mean, it's just thinking about consumerism at its finest. But I want to not sing, but I want to just read the lyrics of Is That Jazz? Basie was never really commonplace. He was always measures of head. And Ellington was more than number one for the music and the things that he said. Bird was the word back when tenors were heard. That's what they say in Kansas City. That's Charlie Parker was the word back when tenors were heard. From Cairns right up to the prayers Lester Young. And Billie was really the queen of the scene. I would have to put Abby Lincoln, Sarah Vaughan, and Betty Carter. I have to put many of them. But that's keep echoing in my head. What it has will surely last, but is that jazz? Miles had a style that amazes and raises the spirits from deep in the soul. Train struck a vein of laughter and pain, adventures the mind could explore. I want to talk about John Coltrane. When you talk about that verse philosophically, I can remember when I was coming up, they used to tell us that this was devil music. And I made a decision. I said, look, if I'm going to hell, I'm going straight with jazz. And I would rationalize as a 14, 13-year-old kid, how could God give somebody like John Coltrane? I mean, I don't know if we're going off, but we're going to talk about Gil Scott-Heron. But John Coltrane, Crescent, is one of the most beautiful. He has over 80 albums. I mean, he's just a beautiful. I was too young. I wish I would have saw him. But anyway, let me keep on talking. Adventures of the mind could explore. Steve and Bob would talk of freedom and joy. When he's talking about Stevie Wonder and Bob Marley would talk about the freedom and joy in their own individual ways, playing and singing as long as it's bringing a message that all is safe. What it has will surely last, but is that jazz? In Jamaica, they have these group of people called the Maroons, and they live up in the mountains, and they didn't have nothing to do with the Europeans, and they was all about peace. And I got a chance to feel the joy, feel the love of my Jamaican brothers. Then he said, we overanalyze, we let others define 1,000 precious feelings from our past. When we express love and tenderness, is that jazz? Is that jazz? This is something that hit me really, really hard. We overanalyze and let others define 1,000 precious feelings from our past. That is why Jazz 313 is so vital. Please, if you like this, click, subscribe, and share. We need to tell the narrative of this great American music. You know, as we did earlier today, Gil Scott-Heron is a person that I'm not going to let anybody forget. Our kids need to know, yeah, was he flawed? Yes. Was he on drugs? Yes. But let's look past that. Shakespeare was on drugs. So, I mean, a lot of people are on drugs. We're not going to even focus on that. Let's just talk about we overanalyze and let others define. I am describing and defining Jazz 313 as Detroit-based, come out of Congo. You already know the story, New Orleans, Kansas City. This music has resonated all over the world. Then he say, Dizzy been busy while Grovers get over. That's Dizzy Gillespie talking about Grover Washington. Just the two of us, Mr. Magic, with notes that go straight to the heart. He talking about Brother Ron, that's Detroit. Brother Ron gets it on with a bass line so strong from Cass Tech High School that seems to glow in the dark. I take pride in what is mine and what's really a crime. when you know I ain't got nothing else. With millions of sounds pick me up when I'm down. Let me salvage a piece of myself. What it has will surely last, but is that jazz? What it has will surely last, is that jazz? What it has will surely last, is that jazz? That is a beautiful song. I mean, I have so many of them. I mean, you gotta hold on, cause you know that's all you got. Hold on, cause there's something, no matter the consequences of the fear that drifts your senses, you have got to hold on to your dream. Did he say, gringos chasing the coyotes? He talking about the Mexicans coming across the Rio Grande, but you can't. You got to hold on to your dreams, no matter the consequences or the fear that drifts in your head. You have got to hold on to your dreams. Being a college student, that's still one of my motivational songs. When I was playing basketball, that was one of my motivational songs. But anyway, Jazz 313 is based in Detroit. And we talk about various topics, environmental, everything positive, and to uplift the music and uplift mankind. Please listen to Madison Avenue, Angel Dust. The revolution will not be televised. And I'm basing this one right here. I guess my scout hook move, that's Jabbar, is on We Almost Lost Detroit. And thank you for sharing with me in this endeavor. Detroit Jazz Fest will be in 3 weeks. I'm going to be at every concert. When you see me, let me know. I can't feature everybody. Gil Scott-Heron is just a philosopher. He is, in my opinion, Black dysphoриa's philosopher. 500 years from now, we will be citing some of his lyrics, some of his words. He is the Black Shakespeare. He, not in my opinion, his words. I mean, I got to give Bob Dylan respect. I got to give Willie Nelson respect. I got to give Abbey Lincoln respect. They are folk singers and talk about real stuff, not getting some coochie and getting some weed and getting the bins. They talking about real things. The revolution will be televised, will be propagated through Jazz 313. And, this is my mission, and may God bless you. Keep your family safe from seen and unseen dangers. I want you to give Gil Scott-Heron a little love on your playlist and open your mind. And he got some great beats. He collaborated with the great Brian Jackson, on piano. And if you like what we're doing, we're not begging for no money. We're not begging. We just want to get this message out about love and about jazz. Again, until we meet again, Jazz 313, the revolution will be televised. Gil Scott-Heron, the philosopher, the teacher, the informationer, the griot of our time. Thank you.